Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I will not keep it as a secret, and I think I already made my position known regarding this individual. I'm not a fan of Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, Ivanka Trump's husband, and former, this is what bothers me the most, former US or White House senior Middle East advisor. This is what bothers me the most. And why is that? It's because he was like 30 something year old, I don't know, 35, 36. And he was appointed by his father-in-law, then President Donald Trump, to a position that he had no credential, no information, nothing. I listened to the guy talk. I read his credentials. I looked over them. He had the only credential that he's got regarding to that is that he's Jewish. And I don't know if that's a plus or a minus, being in a State Department and being over there as a or whatever advisor, White House advisor actually, and advisor with what? I don't think he's got knowledge, but that's based on how I heard him talk. I heard him talk regarding some issues, and he might be a good businessman with his father's money, and good for him that he made a good empire on the immobiliary or houses and all that, like Trump. But other than that, I don't know. Now he's got a problem with Steve Bannon. I listened to Steve Bannon as well, and I can tell you this, that on knowledge, so information, let's start with information, and I'm talking about geopolitics and history, about foreign policy. If I would give, let's say, that's not the maximum, I would give Joe Biden Bannon, let's say a 10. I don't know how much, it doesn't matter, I'm just make a proportion here. I give Bannon 10, I give Kushner 1. All right, so this is the difference of value in how much one person knows versus what the other person knows. Now, I don't know if they're bad dudes, I don't know if they're evil, I don't know if they're pious, I don't know what they are. But when I hear them talk about international issues and foreign policy and so on, Bannon knows, Kushner doesn't. That's the get-go. And they were both in the White House. And it seems like they had some little problem over there in the White House. An extra information here. Last time when I heard about Kushner was, I can't remember, until it was the Mar-a-Lago raid. When it was the Mar-a-Lago raid, there were two Trump family members who said that the person who might be the snitch could be Jared Kushner. So that's what I thought it is. That's what they said. No, I don't know if it was not. That's what they said this guy is. Okay. Since then, the mass media continuously got Jared Kushner in front of the TV, and all kind of beautiful articles. One of them was titled "The Rich Kid from New York, blah blah blah, helping or doing his father's business," or something like that. Everything was fantastic, and doesn't surprise me, because I know who are in charge of the mass media here in the United States, in the corporate mass media, and not only. So it was obvious that they tried to portray it for us. It couldn't have been him. Well, that draws attention, so that's a bad thing that they did. Now, this article from the Insider from August 27th, this is the title. Jared Kushner said Steve Bannon was like a suicide bomber who blew up during his time in White House. Maybe the guy knew what he was talking about, and you didn't. You didn't know shit. So Jared Kushner told the Hugh Hewitt show, he's invited everywhere now, all of a sudden, just a guy who's just a building whatever, how do you call it, house market mogul. That's what he is. He just works with buildings and sells and builds and That's what he does, like Trump. He said about Steve Bannon's time in the White House. Kushner said that Bannon was a great partner on the campaign trail, but got too power hungry. He also likened Bannon to a suicide bomber who blew up before he left. Jared Kushner, former President Donald Trump's son-in-law, said Friday that Steve Bannon was like a suicide bomber. I said that 3 times already. Bannon, a former advisor to Trump who helped him win his 2016 presidential campaign, left the White House in August 2017 after months of reported power struggles with Kushner and other advisors. He had with Kushner the thing that he got, at least per Bannon, one of them nevertheless. Speaking on the Hewitt, I don't know who that guy is. On Friday, Kushner said that Bannon was a great partner on the campaign trail but got too power hungry. Okay, and I'm quoting Kushner. I think maybe the power got to his head a little bit, or it was being more of what he was, Kushner told Hewitt. It became very divisive. Here division is if you have leadership who says, all right, this is our plan. All right, let's say we're in a meeting, in a board meeting, and there's about 3 guys or maybe 1 guy who runs the show, but he wants to build legitimacy with everybody else by including everybody else. I've been through these kind of situations, so it happened to me a few times. So this guy or guys, and this time is President Trump, has got 2-3 weasels, and he comes and says, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do like this. What do you think? Now the expectation is that everybody says, yes, we do, yeah, that's a great idea. All right. Now, if you have balls and you really are maybe either have balls and you don't know what's going on, or maybe you have balls and you know what's going on, but you still say it. And you say, oh, well, I have a few questions. And you utter the questions that oppose that proposal that this guy's put forth. Then you have the weasels attacking you, not the big boss. The big boss wants to have consensus so he can go forward, and if that fails, hey, we were all into it, so you can punish all of us. That's how it goes. Weasels. So I'm guessing that Bannon was against these guys, and then they say he was divisive. Divisive because he came with a different option, different opinion, and he probably ran against the big boss's opinion. In this case was Trump. I'm not picking on Trump. They all do the same. They all do. Why do you have the committees? The committees are for that reason, because if the result of the committees fails, the outcome is a failure, they can look at the committee. It's a committee. That's why if the Senate or the U.S. Senate votes something, or the House, and something gets screwed up, you can't punish them because they voted and they're the elected officials, so they hide among numbers. So the same here, divisive because probably this guy who knew something got against Kushner, who didn't know shit. By the way, Kushner, he said in an interview, I don't know when he got appointed that position, that Benjamin Netanyahu, a Bibi, used to come at his house, not his father's house, when he was a child in New York and sleep over there. So he is with Netanyahu and those guys like that. And he went over there to be the advisor for the Middle East. Who do you think he was advising for and against? Do you think that he was saying, maybe the Palestinians have a point here? Do you think that's how he was? He had Netanyahu in his house. He and his father, I think he served some time because of some hanky-panky that he did. Okay, so spare me with Kushner. Kushner for me, and it's not necessarily, Kushner's fault. It's Trump's fault and Kushner. Because it's like someone says, Emil, come over here. You're going to be the lead engineer for building that freeway. I will not say yes because I don't know anything about it. I mean, I know a few things, but I don't know, to build it. So I will not accept that position just because my father-in-law appoints me. I say, I can't. I don't. It's like lying. It is, and it's dangerous because my policies affect millions of people. Global wars can start based on my advice. I don't know how much influence he had, this Kushner, because I'm assuming Trump knew how much Kushner knew about the, Well, it became very divisive. Kushner said about Bannon, he was undermining us, knife fighting with colleagues, and it just wasn't helping us implementing the agenda. What I tell you? I didn't read this before. The agenda was over there, and he was, wait guys, you dumbass. No, and I'm telling you why. Bam, 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 bam. Everybody was like, whoa, the agenda, we didn't ask you to do this. We just asked you to say yes. That's the whole purpose of our conversation. But it seemed like Bannon was too, I don't know, did not figure it out, or he just, it's for real, without even knowing that actually it's not for real. This is just a farce. We have to agree with the agenda. And he did not, and it became divisive. So this is Kushner talking about that. And then it says here that during a series of media appearances this week, Kushner defended his father-in-law over the FBI raid in Mar-a-Lago. He also denied being an FBI informant to release in relation to the ongoing Justice Department investigation over whether Trump has mishandled the classified documents found in his Florida residence. See, earlier this week, everything was activated, and series of media appearances. Not because they want to hear from him. What do you think? Cover for this weasel. And then, how do you keep your body in shape? Well, thank you very much. Anyway, Bannon, who hosts the popular War Room podcast, was found guilty last month of criminal contempt of Congress in connection with his refusal to cooperate with a House committee investigation of the January 6th. Okay. A lawyer for Bannon did not immediately respond to blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so they took care of him because they subpoenaed him and said, I'm not going to show up. That's confidential information between me and the president. I can't say anything. I'm not going to show up. Like, for instance, what's his name? The former DOJ of President Obama, Holder. He was subpoenaed and he said, and was he indicted? Was he found in contempt of the court? No. For the same reason. And nothing happened to Holder, who was guilty. Remember what he did with the weapons. Remember Fast and Furious? Remember that? Just check Fast and Furious Holder, what he did, our DOJ. And he was called to court and he did not appear. Nobody touched him. But Bannon, he has to. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Kushner. He just shows up from the woodwork just like that. They cover for him. Just check who's who and what's what. Names, and former names. Change names. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.